Hello everybody, it's Maikito. I hope everybody's having a good day. Has had a good day so far. We didn't have that great of a day, hence why I'm not wearing the robe, but it happens, and the best thing we can do, as you guys know, is just bounce back and have a good day tomorrow. And I found some plays that I like, and as always, if I do have any added plays, they will be in the pinned comment either later tonight or tomorrow before the game starts. Much more likely to be tomorrow, just because lines change, more lines are added, team changes, team lineups can change and stuff like that. So no reason to waste any time. So I'll get straight into the picks. And the first one is Ederson to go higher than 2.5 saves, playing away from home for Man City, going up against Tottenham. He will get the opportunities. He just needs to save at least 3 of them. And he went over in the first game, playing at home with 3 saves from 7 on target. So he should have saved more, but the fact that Tottenham got those 7 on target is the reason why he got those saves. And in my opinion, will Tottenham get 7 on target? Maybe. I lean slightly towards the no, but they definitely can. And opposing keepers in the last 5 against Tottenham have only gone over the last 2 out of 5. They went over with 6 against Man U, 4 against Villa. And if you look at the games that the opposing keepers didn't go over this mark. Ipswich, they scored 4 of those, so he had the opportunities and had 6 on target. He just couldn't save them. It was Liverpool. You can't blame Liverpool. Liverpool's a great defense. And then against Brentford, they had an early lead away from home. But now they're playing at home against City, and it won't be an easy game, which means they're going to keep shooting. I don't anticipate them getting an early lead and then just defending. Besides, they also played in the Cup, and it was in Tottenham at home. And while Ederson didn't play that game, Ortega was the keeper in that game, and he had 5 saves from 7 on target again. So Tottenham are definitely capable of getting those on target, and they seem to always have a great game against City. And attacking wise, they're really just missing Solanke, but pretty much everybody, at least in the attack, is back. Whether it's Johnson, Kulusevski, Madison, Son, their attack is almost back to full strength. So they still have a good attack, and City's lineup is much more likely, at least projected wise, to be much more attack oriented, which obviously means more shots for Tottenham. And I think it's a good line away. He will get the opportunities. He just needs to save them. So I trust him here. So I like Ederson to go higher than 2.5 saves. The next prop that I found that I like is James Tarkowski to go higher than 35.5 passes, playing away from home for Everton, going up against Brentford. He's gone over his last 5 out of 10 games, and the games he went under was against Man U, who allowed the 8th least passes, Liverpool, who allowed the 5th least passes, Brighton, who allowed the 7th least passes, Bournemouth, who allowed the 11th least passes, and Manchester City, who allowed the 2nd least passes, while Brentford, on the other hand, allowed the 8th most passes to opponents, which is what I like. And he went over in the first game with 55. Do keep in mind that Brentford, I believe Everton were a man up after halftime, pretty much right at halftime. So he did get more opportunities that way, but he still went way over this mark with 20. And Brentford are not an aggressive team that really press their opponents a lot, which means Everton can't pass the ball in the back whenever they need to, and Brentford won't really press them a lot. So that's one thing that I like as well. And Brentford, in my opinion, first of all, are much more likely to take the lead in this game, which obviously this means that Brentford will give up more possession once they take the lead to defend and give more possession to Everton, which is what I like. And he plays full minutes. And if you look at the opposing center backs against Brentford, who played the full minutes, they look at the center backs that do play full minutes against them. They have gone over in the last 9 out of 10 games. That's a 90% hit rate. And the only center backs that didn't go over this mark was against Nottingham Forest. And Nottingham Forest are a team that allow even more passes to opponents. That allow the 3rd most passes. So it's just Brentford playing another low possession team. And if you look at the games that Tarkowski goes under, even against these high possession teams, he's consistently right under the line. It's just whether he gets that over. And against a good matchup like Brentford, where I see Brentford taking the lead, and in general, Brentford aren't an aggressive team, I just like the matchup. So I like this line, like James Tarkowski to go higher than 35.5 passes. The last line that I found that I like is Mohamed Salah to go higher than 3 shots, playing at home for Liverpool, going up against Newcastle. He hasn't been shooting a lot lately. He's gone under in 4 straight in the league. But before, if you take those 4 games away, he has had 3+ shots in the league in 15 straight. So he still is a shooter, and I think that he will go over in this game. He played him away from home in the league and went over with 4. And despite only still going under in 4 straight, he's still in great form and has actually scored an 8 game straight. So if you want to, you could possibly take a look at him to score in general, but I just feel like one is going to be difficult for him because Newcastle know that he's going to be trying to score. So if anything, I can see him taking shots and then being blocked and them guarding him. So he will try to make it 9 in a row, obviously. So he will shoot. So I just think that, again, Newcastle will keep that in mind and try to guard him even more closely. Besides, he still has had 3+ shots and 10 out of 12 at home, and opponents know that he cuts in and shoots with his left, but no one can stop it. He's way too quick. He does not need a lot of shots in general to shoot, and he still averages 3.69 shots per 90 so far in the league, and he plays full minutes. And if you look at just his home games, he has played the full game in 10 out of the 12 games, and the 2 games that he didn't play the full minutes, he got subbed out in around 5 minutes left in the game, so he still pretty much played the full game, and not even going into matchups or anything like that. You can call it a gut call if you want to, but I just like this line because I think they're just over-exaggerating just because he hasn't been shooting in the last couple games, but he still has been in good form, and I see this being a little bit more of a difficult matchup for him at home. I like this line, so I like Mohamed Salah to go higher than 3 shots. Before I get into the money line plays, if you guys could please like the video, comment, and do all of that, it really would help the channel. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Turn on notifications so you're notified when all these videos are out, because these lines do tend to get bumped and taken away relatively often. It happened after the last video. Could happen again, I'm not sure. But if you want to try to avoid that and you want to support the channel as well, I do have the membership link in the description if you're interested in that. And then all my links for everything, data app, money lines, player props, all linked in the description. So I really want to thank anybody who supports me in any way. The growth lately has been just a lot, and I just really do appreciate you guys. But going into the money lines, I did have a couple leans. I was looking at some games, looking at others, but I found one that I like. Not a slip, just one play, and that's both teams to score in the Nottingham Forest and Arsenal game. You can currently get this on Fliff for -120, and according to the odds, Nottingham Forest is the team that is less likely to score, while in my opinion, it's honestly the other way around. Both teams are not in their best form. Forest, for example, are winless in the last 4 out of 5, and Arsenal are coming off that home game loss to West Ham. And if you look at the games that Forest has played in the last 5, the one that they did win was at home. All the other 4 games were all away, so they haven't had many home games, and now they're at home where they play much better, and it's an important top 4 battle for them, because if you just look at the point gap, there's only a 5-point gap between Nottingham Forest, who's in 3rd place, and Aston Villa, who's in 10th. So just from a point standpoint, there's not a lot separating Forest from those other teams, so they need to go out there and score a goal, try to get the win, and just try to be aggressive in this game. They have still scored 22 goals in 12 at home, and Arsenal are still a team that have managed to score 24 goals in 13 away, and I just think they'll find a way. Nottingham Forest defense has been iffy in general and have conceded in the last 6 out of 7. And Forest in general need a top 4 spot. Well, there has been 6 games this season in which Arsenal hasn't scored, and in the following game, after not being able to score, they have scored in all 6 of the following games. So if we look at just stat-wise and just trend-wise, after Arsenal goes a game without scoring, they always score in the next game. And just because Arsenal has attacking injuries, they still have pretty good quality attackers. So matchup-wise, Forest have a healthy attack while Arsenal doesn't. I see, honestly, you can fade this play if you want to, because I can see this game either being a 0-0 or like a 2-2 or something like that. But I just think both teams need to go out there, and both teams have a lot to prove. I see both teams scoring here, and I like the fact that Forest is at home opposed to Arsenal being at home. So I like this play. I like both teams to score in the Nottingham Forest and Arsenal game for -120. Thank you everybody for watching. Quickly going over last video's picks. I did mention it wasn't great money line wise. We went 1 for 2 on the slip. We had the higher than 0.5 first half goals and that hit, but Villa ended up losing 3-1 to Palace. I did say I just thought that Aston Villa was going to be able to keep up in the attack, and apparently they weren't. So I guess that was just a bad read on my part. And then Mitoma higher than 0.5 shots on target. He took 2 shots, so he definitely had the opportunities. He just couldn't put it on target. And then we did have Eze higher than 2.5 shots. That one was pretty easy, so we did hit that one. And I did have one out of play, which was Kepa to get at least 3 saves. Brighton took 4 on target. Honestly, first of all, I expected him to take more. And second of all, he had the opportunity to save 3. He let 2 in, so that was just unfortunate there. But the reads were there. Reads are going to be there always. It's just where the players can come through. So I'm confident in my place, and I'm confident in my place tomorrow. I will always only give picks that I like. And you guys know, usually whenever we have a bad day, we can usually bounce back the next day. And I expect that to happen tomorrow. And like I mentioned, if I do have any edit plays, they will be in the pinned comment either later tonight or tomorrow. And then for those that don't know, I do have my Discord linked in the description. Not a premium. I don't hide any picks on this channel. I really don't believe in paying for premiums and hiding picks when you can really find all this information and research online yourself. So I have my Discord linked in the description if you want to join that. Just a good community I'm trying to build over there. But other than that, I hope everybody has a good night, a good day. We can cash out tomorrow.